So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Was it hard getting up the hill?
Yes. No.
No?
Yes, I'm clean.
So, what we'll do is we'll do a brief discussion. You can raise questions if you have any about the Buddhist philosophy, about this monastery, about monkhood. With the questions you ask, we can have a discussion. Any questions?
Oh, it's very exciting.
Yeah, yes.
Why do you want to go into the market?
Okay, why would one go into the monk? It's like this. So, when someone living in their lives, they want to, what we all seek in life is pleasures. Right? We want to be happy. Happiness is what we all seek in life. From our childhood, when we grow up, we get education in order to become successful in life. So what is success? Is happiness. We have money, we have things that we want. With that, we'll be happy. So that is success. So after the education, we go on to have relationships. We get ourselves married, then we go on to go on trips, vacations, so many different things. All of these things that we're doing in life, we do it for pleasure, happiness, joy. That is what we all seek in life. So when we are on this search for happiness, we all come across sadness, pain, suffering in life. That is true to everyone, right? When we want happiness, we are doing things for it, we are searching it. While we are doing all these things, we come across mental pressure, suffering, pain in life. So why does one become a monk? Is to get rid of this suffering from the mind, to understand one's mind, which means enlightenment. So that is why a person will become a monk, to understand their own minds, why they suffer, the cause of their suffering, to understand this. That is why someone decided to get a monk. Yeah.
How long have you personally been on?
6 years. I came here when I was 19. I stayed here before becoming a monk for a year, there's a training. So I took that, and then at 20 I became a monk. Now I'm 26.
Would you expect to be a monk forever? Or do you need a certain time period when you say, I want to change your life?
For now, I have no idea. Most possibly for life. Yeah. You had a question, please?
In Thailand, all men or all boys have to become a monk for at least a period of time. Is that, and then some live their life, and then some decide to become monks
Forever.
Is that true in Sri Lanka?
No. That's not, it is culture. Different cultures.
Also, different cultures in Japan, as an example, I was told by that Japanese monks there marry.
That is also culture.
That's culture. Here,
No. So the thing is, even though these cultures change, the core teaching, the principles that they try to obey by, they are similar, as the same. Even though these cultures, the way we do things change, at the end of the day, we all want to understand our minds, the cause of suffering. So the thing is, the cause of suffering is not something on the outside world. The cause of our suffering is not something happening around us. The cause of suffering for all of us is the way we think. So it doesn't matter what you do in life. It doesn't matter where you're from. We all have a mind that we work with. If you can understand your mind, the ways of it, the rhythms of it, then you can be enlightened. Cultures may change, not only in Buddhism. Buddhism also has different cultures, also in Christianity, Muslims, Hinduism, in every religion as well. Even though there are also different ways in life, the cultures have changed, but the philosophy, but the core teaching is same as everyone.
Could you summarize for us the basic principles of Buddhism?
The basic principles of Buddhism is like this. The basic principle is understanding your mind. So what is there to understand? Like I said, all of us, we feel suffering, pain, sadness, guilty, all these feelings we get in life. So all these feelings that we get, we always point our finger towards someone who's outside. There's an entity which exists outside us that we point our finger to. Okay, this is why I suffer. Right? So if I give you an example, at one point or another, my teachers were like pain in my life, right? Don't do this, don't do that. My parents always saying, don't do this, don't do that. So there's like anger towards them. So what I'm trying to get at is, at every given moment, all of our anger, frustration, it always points towards someone who's outside. Girlfriend, kids, wife, husbands, neighbors, the countrymen. Always there's someone who's outside, the climate, the government, the politicians, the leaders, always. But in reality, none of these things are the reason of your suffering. None of these things are the cause of your pain. It is the own way you think that makes you suffer in life. It is because of your own expectations that you have towards this outside world that make you angry and upset in life. You have certain kinds of imaginations in your mind, expecting things from the outside. For example, when you come into this center, you might have an idea, okay, Buddhist monastery should be something like this. We all have ideas when you go to a place. I have an idea about tomorrow. We all have ideas about what comes next. That is okay. That is how our minds work. But when you believe this to be the reality, when you think, okay, this has to be true, then all your mental suffocations and problems start to rise. You believe in something in your mind to be true. When it doesn't become true, you suffer in life. You have expectations about the outside world. You forget that you yourself, from your mind, you are the one who's creating these imaginations and expectations. So, because of that own ignorance, because we cannot really understand that we are the ones who's creating all these imaginations, we are bound to suffer in life. If I tell you a simple example, like an exercise, I'm going to give each and every one of you a piece of blank paper. And then I'm going to give you a pencil. And I'm going to ask you to draw a demon in that paper. A devil. You know devil, right? Do you know a devil? A devil. A demon. Okay? So, in this piece of paper, you're going to draw this devil with big eyes and long teeth. You're going to draw one. And then I'm going to give you some colors and I'm going to ask you to paint this demon of yours. You're going to paint this demon with red eyes and long teeth with black color. You're going to paint this demon. And then I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to show it to you and say, be afraid and be frightened looking at this piece of paper. Can you do that? No. Why? It is something you true. You know you are the one who created this, right? You are the one who painted it. You know the reality that it is just a paper. There is no real demon in here. You know it's just a paper. But the same incident happens in our minds. We from ourselves, we create illusions. We create imaginations. We have ideas about the world. We have ideas about the people around us. We have ideas about everything that exists. But because we don't know that we are the one who's creating it, we are the one who's drawing these things, we get ourselves attached to certain ideas. We reject certain ideas. In that process, someone is bound to suffer in life. So the basic principle would be to understand how our minds work, understand the real cause of our suffering. And by that, Buddha teaches a way to live a life without suffering. It is an art of living. It is not a religion, it is just an art of living. He is explaining a way how to live your life blissfully. That will be the basic principles in Buddhism.
The relationship of Buddhism to nature?
Buddhism is nature. It always talks about nature. This is nature. Our minds, even though we think that we are two different entities, we are all part of nature. This is also like soil, right? Piece of entity, piece of the nature. That's it. We are nature. Even his Buddhist enlightenment always symbolizes with trees. He never like all three steps, like major steps that we talk about in Buddha's life, it all happened under a tree. His birth happened under a tree. His enlightenment happened under a tree. Even his death happened. He went to a garden and he just peacefully left the world under a tree. It always goes with the nature.
You believe that our suffering and all of these things that in our life start when we were young, all the experience that we have when we were young. And we are not aware of anything but this surrounding you have when you were young. Created this and then try to become a monster when you grow. So we should start when like kids, baby. And so they don't have anything like to deal with. They come down.
So, as kids, we all have, what happens is we all were given information. When we were little, we never felt upset, sad about most of the things that we get sad about right now. Let's say we were given a diamond, we give a diamond to a little kid. He doesn't know it is a diamond, he just play with it, he just do so many things with the diamond. But for us, if we get a diamond, we try to protect this diamond. We try to keep it safe. Sometimes we get up from sleep and check whether the diamond is there or not. Right? So, what's the difference? Difference is the values that we have given to these ideas in our mind. So the kid doesn't have that value. So I'm not trying to tell you not to give values to your kids. As a kid, when you grow up, you will grow certain values in our minds about certain things. That is okay. But you have to understand, this is just imagination. It is not reality. It is reality to the society that we live. I'm not asking you not to give values to the kids. Kids have to learn somewhere. But when they grow up, those ideas, those information will become monsters, like you said. But when they feel that pain, that is when you start to realize, okay, my ideas are just imaginations. Then you go back to being a kid. That is how it happens. Without knowing that this is going to be a monster, you will never come back. From the start, if you try not to give values to things for a kid, he will start to hate the society. So the normal way of growing is okay. That is how a kid grows. That is how the society sees it grows. If you try to change that, he will be isolated from the society. It is okay to grow the way that they grow. But when they grow with these ideas, if they attach to these ideas of his mind, then he is going to suffer of these ideas. Let's say a simple example. Let's say I was given a tea to drink. So for me, tea should be in a certain way. It should have a certain sugar level. It should have this tea level. It should be this hot. I have an idea about a great tea. But the tea that I was served is not to my expectation. Then I'm upset. This is not how I want to drink tea. So it is really the fault of the person who made tea, or is it really your imagination and expectations about how tea should be? That is what you should understand. So a normal kid will grow up in a way that the society and the parents and all that is providing them with the teachers, with the information. That is how they grow. But if he or she get attached to these ideas in his mind that certain things should be a certain way, then he is going to suffer in life. To the level of attachment, he is going to suffer to the same extent. If you are attached to something really hard, then that means you are bound to suffer to that extent. So the reason for your suffering is, what is the reason? Is the thing that you attach to is not the real thing who's outside. The thing that you attach to is your imagination of the thing. For example, let's take the tea that I took. If you're really attached to tea, why would you be angry at the tea if it is made some other way? It is because your attachment is not to the tea which you're drinking. It is to the tea that is in your mind. Did you understand that? Let's say I love someone. So the person that I love, he's not really outside. The person I love is in my imagination. The person I love is in my imagination. In my imagination, the person I love is walking in a certain way. He's dressing in a certain way. He's talking in a certain way. He's not going to cheat on me. He's not going to blame me. He's not going to scold me. In my imagination, there's a certain person. That is the person that I love. That is why a single incident, a single scenario is enough to hate the same person I loved a minute ago. Doesn't that happen in our lives? We love someone, and the next instant, we hate that same person. So, the reason is, your love is not to the person who's outside, your love is to the imagination of that person which exists in your head. You have imaginations about all these things around you. Lights, fans, phones, people. When your imaginations become reality, when you believe these things to be true, then there's a possibility that it could happen another way. So I'm not asking you to raise a kid in a certain way. That raising happens in the way that society agrees on. The way that a kid grows in US is not how it grows in Sri Lanka. It is not how it differs from one another. But somehow, if he's attached to these ideas of his, he's going to suffer in life.
So is it possible that there are truly evil people in the world? Or are you suggesting it's just and that in our minds there are?
So it's like this. So you're saying evil people. First you have to understand evil and the other side exists in our mind. We were taught from our childhood, doing this is evil, doing this is good. This is bad, this is right, this is wrong, it is all in our head. So how does this good and bad exist? This good and bad exist in the societies that we live. Stealing is bad in all the societies that we know. Right? It is something that we all agree on. Stealing is bad. Killing is bad. There are people who do these things. So that makes them bad. The things that we agree upon being evil, if someone is doing these things, those people are evil. Okay? So, if you're angry with that, if you want to take revenge on a person who does evil things, if you want to see justice happen to the people who did evil, if you're like really burning within yourself if these people go free, then it is not the problem of the person who's outside. If someone does bad in the society, there are rules, there are laws, there are police to take action to that. There are things that you can do. Do those things. But there is no such thing as evil and good in life. We agree upon certain things being, okay, this is evil, this is good. There are people who do actions. There are people who do actions. We are the ones who's piecing them. Okay, this is evil, this is good. This is bad, this is right. This is wrong, this is correct. So we piece these things to certain extremes. People just do actions. I'm not saying whether it is okay or not, but in society we know killing is bad. We know stealing. We know these things to be bad. Yes. But that is not the reality. It is just something that we all agree upon to help the society. To function in society, you shouldn't do these things. Yes, that's true. But if you are angry about it, if you're burning from within, thinking about these things, then it is not the person who is doing the act on the outside because of that. It is the own way of your thinking. Your ideas of evil and good has become the reality to you. I myself doesn't burn from anything happening around. We have a campus here. We started the campus like a year ago. Now, in here, there are like 300 people living here. So to rule this place, we also have laws and rules. People should not break these rules. The students, they have to have discipline. They have to like stay according to the rules. If they break the rules, I don't lose sleep over it. I don't get myself burning because of the things that these people do. But there are things that I don't. First, I ask them not to do this. Okay, this is not how we do things. Do it like this. If they doesn't listen, then I shout at them. Why did you do this? I asked you not to do this. If he does it at the third, fourth time, we will suspend them. There are actions that we can take. Actions are okay. You can take action. But if you're burning from within, if you want to like really punish the guy because there's something that they do, if you like, you know what I'm saying, right? If you're burning from within to do this thing, okay, why did he do this? And thinking about it over and over again, that is something not happening because of the person outside. That is something it is not happening because of the person who did the act. It is because of your own thinking pattern, why you suffer.
So the revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revenge happens because of your imagination. You think it is because of your expectation, it has to come true. If you take revenge on someone, it means that you expect something from that person he did not do as you expect, and now you want to take revenge on that person. When you take revenge, you don't have a blissful feeling inside. When you want to have revenge, you are burning from within. You want to do like bad, ugly things to that person. So revenge always comes because of you can't understand these ideas in your mind.
What does Buddhism teach in terms of acceptance and tolerance of people and beliefs that are different from yours? How accepting
Different from yours.
diversity?
Different from yours, what do you mean?
For example, different religion, different race, different sexual orientation. What is your feeling about these people that have different practices or beliefs or yours? Totally accepting? Not acknowledging? What is your answer?
What we try to do is, we always try to understand our mind. So that is the basic principle that we live by. So different ideas, different beliefs mean you just have a different idea about something. We don't try to reject, no, accept these ideas. We are on the middle. We don't accept, neither reject. We listen to those ideas. If it is correct by me, I tend to believe it. If it doesn't, I tend to not to believe it. But we don't go into fights, we don't debate about things, we do. But in our minds, we are not with an agreement or disagreement with the ideas that we have. So that is how we see about not only about other religions, about our own religion as well. We are in the middle of the ideas that there are. We don't try to reject anyone in life. No, we try to accept anyone in life. There are ideas. We are on the middle for ideas, for every idea, not only about religions, about, like you said, there are different kinds of ideas in life. We just listen to them. That's it. Does it answer your question?
It does, but it brings up another question.
Okay.
Thinking of an example in Myanmar,
Okay.
we're a predominantly Buddhist population, and vis-a-vis the Rohingya Muslim population
Okay.
in Western Myanmar, there's a lot of violence and a lot of hatred, I think, on the part of the Buddhists who are against the Rohingya and trying to push them out of Myanmar simply because of their beliefs, their practices, and that upsets me, that confuses me. How somebody can be a Buddhist or claim to be a Buddhist and have such intolerance toward the people with another belief.
I understand. So, even though you say you're a Buddhist, in Sri Lanka as well, we see people like that. So, if you have a mind, like you said, It doesn't matter whether you're Buddhist or not. If you believe your ideas to be true, so what has happened there? You believe these people, like Muslims, the way they believe is not good for society. So that is why they do these things, right? So if you don't really understand these concepts in your mind, if you believe these concepts to be true, that is when you start fights. That is when your conflicts happen. If in any part of the world, if there are conflicts and wars, it is always because of the people who doesn't understand their mind. They believe something to be true. That is why they start wars. They don't practice the middle path. What is the middle path? Middle path is the idea that you have of the things that is in your mind. You are neither trying to accept and reject these things. You just try to be in the middle. You observe your ideas in the minds. That is it. You don't try to accept that. When you try to accept that, you go on with that. When you try to reject the ideas, you go on with that as well. So there are conflicts and wars in the world in every given moment. It doesn't matter whether you're a Buddhist or not. If you're not practicing the ways of Buddhism, if you're a Buddhist or not, if you're practicing the ways, you are a Buddhist. Right? You can claim to be a Buddhist, not do the practice, you will not be a Buddhist. You will be a Buddhist on paper, yes, but that's it.
There are several different types of Buddhism in various countries. Could you explain the differences, please?
So, the most difference is like cultures that we have. So, when you go to like Japan, China, we call it Mahayana tradition. So, when you come to the Sri Lankan and the other countries like that, we call it Theravada tradition. So, two major traditions, we call it Mahayana and Theravada. So, how that happened is after Gautam Buddha's demise, his major disciples went on two ways. One disciple went to Japan and that side. The other disciples came to like down south from India. So these two disciples had different ideas about it. So the people who came down south, their main belief was like, what did I say? It was like there are certain like commandments, like laws, and that is what they believe. In religion, there are laws and commandments. So that is how they believed the disciples who came down, that is how they believed the society should be built on. So the people who goes up, they just believed in the philosophy itself. There wasn't much rules and stuff. They just believed in the philosophy itself. So that is why you see marriage acceptable in Japan and countries like that. In Sri Lanka, in these parts of the world, Buddhism is more strict and there are some rules with the society. So that is why there are like differences. So even though the cultures differed, the culture difference happened like that. With the people who, after Gautama Buddha's demise, the people who went on to like distribute this message for their own ideas. From the ideas that they had, the cultures differed. So the different traditions come up like that. But the core teaching is always about suffering from mind and getting rid of this suffering. That is it.
In the motherhood, are men and women equal? And how long have women been accepted into the motherhood?
How long? Before or what do you mean, how long?
Have been women involved?
Yeah, from firstly, Gautam Buddha didn't allow women to be monks, but from his lifetime, like after 20 years, I think, I'm not sure about the number. From his lifetime, he like gave permission for ladies to become monks as well.
And they're equal in
Not in society, but the way the tradition is made up, with the way the culture is made up, the male monks are higher and female monks are like after that. So when you want like when you go on to have lunch or something, there's a role. So even though You maybe said there may be a woman who became a nun. After that, the male monk can become a monk, but the male one always goes first. So that is how the tradition is. But the teaching is not differed. You have a mind, I have a mind. All of us have minds. If someone can understand the reason of suffering, then you are enlightened. There's no division in that. The divisions happen because of the culture and society. Yes.
Is there a path to enlightenment and some sort of a ceremony to commemorate enlightenment?
There's no ceremony. Yes, there's a path. The path is what I explained now. The path is understanding your mind. How do you understand your mind? There is the next question, right? So, how do you understand it? Like I said, understanding mind. So, how do you do that? Is when you go on life, you live your normal life. You don't try to do anything, you just live your normal life. You're not going everywhere thinking, okay, what is happening in my mind? Am I attached? Am I not attached? No, you don't do that. You go on in your normal life. But when you're going on in your life, in a moment you will feel pressure. You will feel anger about something. You will feel upset about something. First you will feel, okay, that is the person I'm upset about. Because this happened like this is why I'm upset. You will think like that. But after some time passes, you can think from your mind and start to realize what was the real cause of my anger. Then you will realize from your mind, the real cause of my anger is the way that I think. Because of the expectations that I myself created. That is why I suffer. When you understand this process 2-3 times in your life, your suffering, your pressure will decrease automatically. You don't have to do anything about it. The process happens automatically. If you try to do something to it, if you're trying to settle your mind down, then you're making it suffer even more. Don't try to control your mind. Understand the causes of why you suffer. If you're trying to control it, then you're trying to do something to it. How you get enlightened is by observing your mind. You always observe what is happening in your mind. Why the causes, why it happens, how it happens. Why do I feel jealousy? It is not because of the person who's outside. It is always your mind, how it works. If I give you another example, let's say there's a glass of water. The water inside is always shaking. It's like this. Now I want to stop this shake of water. What do I do? Sorry?
Stop moving the glass.
Stop moving the glass. And then it will calm down from itself. Your mind is always like this. Always shaking with ideas. Right? We always get ideas about something. We have ideas, we have thoughts about imaginations, expectations about the world. We have so many things. It is always shaking with ideas. How do you stop this shaking? Don't shake the glass. If you're trying to do things, then you're shaking it even more. You want to stop the shake and you're trying to do things. You want to trying to do so many things, trying to control it, trying to neglect some ideas. You're trying to, when some ideas come in, you try to force them out. You try to keep it in a still position. You only want to think about positive ideas. You're only trying to do so many things in order to make this settle down, your mindset. But it will shake even more. What I suggest you do is, let it be as it is and be an observer. Don't try to do anything to your mind. Be an observer. See what happens in your mind. Ideas are coming in and you're getting attached to ideas and you're thinking about it. See? Be an outsider and observe what happens. It is like throwing a snake here and looking it from afar. You're not trying to do things to the snake. You are just looking for, okay, he's going that way. He's going this way. Now he's trying to bite something. You're observing how it works. That is how you understand your mind. If you be an observer and see this, then you will see how it attaches to things, how it rejects certain things, the reason why it gets suffering, the reason why I'm angry at someone, the reason why I want to take revenge, the reason why I'm so happy. it is always because of your mind attaching and rejecting things. Be an observer and will automatically calm itself down.
You described being I forget the names of them, forgive me. The type of wisdom that went south and the type of wisdom that went north. How about Tibet and Mongolia? Because that's a different type of understanding.
I don't really know the answer. So what happened there, I don't.
Never mind. No, thank you for answering.
The way I did.
Yes.
So what happened in Mongolia, I don't. How are the monks there?
My understanding is that the type of Buddhism in Tibet and Mongolia are still different from what we have down
How
south.
different? What's
I don't know enough about it, that's why I was asking you.
I don't know either, so sorry about
Well, we're the same boat.
it.
So, what's the Dalai Lama from you, as far as overall Buddhism, or is he just part of the Tibetan Buddhism?
He is a part of Tibetan Buddhism because what he preaches is now he is someone who is going to be enlightened. He's going to be a Buddha, the next Buddha, right? So that is how Dalai Lama presents himself. So when the Dalai Lama dies, he is reborn in some part of the country or the world, I think. So that person is brought up to be the next Dalai Lama. That is how it goes. But in Buddhism, we are not trying to go on this rebirth. We are trying to end this from this life. When you are enlightened, that means you are not going to get a rebirth. You are not reincarnated. Why a person gets reincarnated is because he doesn't understand about his desires. When you have desire towards, even let's say you have desire towards drinking tea, you have to come back to this world to drink tea. Because of desires you have, you will be reincarnated. If there's a person who doesn't have any desires, there's no rebirth, there's no reason to get to rebirth. If your I exist, if you have ego within yourself, that means you have desire. If you have an I, if you have ego, then there is someone to get a rebirth. What do you mean by losing your desires? Is you losing your I. There is no I in you, there is no ego. When there is no ego, when there is no I, there is no one to get a rebirth. Simple as that. That is how karma comes in. There are a lot of descriptions about this thing, it goes deep, but in simple words, karma is, if you have an I, if there is ego, the things you will do have karma. Like if you do good, you will have good karma. If you do bad, so if I go further, like good and bad is something, it is in your mind. Your actions have consequences. Like if I help someone, the act that I did will come back to me. That is how karma works. So good and bad is in your head. Did you understand that?
Yes.
So I'm the one who's naming them good and bad. The actions I did will come back to me. So actions I did. But if you're doing just an action, there is no such a person to come back to it. If you understand what I mean. So if there's a person who's enlightenment means that you lose I. You don't have an ego. Because you understand from within that the idea of I is also in my mind. Enlightenment means you are losing this I of yours. You are losing your ego. There is no ego for you after this. If you understand this duality, there's a duality in life. You have happy, you have sad, you have tall, you have short, you have darkness, you have light. Everything that there is duality. So what Buddhists teach, what Buddha teaches is don't get attached to either of those extremes. Don't reject either of those extremes. Be an observer and you will come to the middle. This is an experience of mine. You will be in the middle, you will see all these things. When you become an observer, you will see the ideas. You attach in one side and you reject in the other. If you see this, you will come to the middle. You will see the ideas, but you will not go to either extreme. When you travel the middle path, there will be a place, there will be a moment where you vanish from the middle as well. That is enlightenment. There are like things that there is more like explanations for this, but in simplest form, you're vanishing from the middle. In the middle, you have an eye. Because you have an eye in the middle, you see the two extremes. When you vanish from the middle, you vanish from the both sides as well. You will cease to exist. But then you come back. That is what is meant by in like in the story of Jesus, you say that he's reincarnated out his death. So in the way we believe it, it is said that now let's say you are enlightened in this life. Then you will have then you will have like another life, like to live until you die from your physical body.
It's,
It is until you die, but without the eye.
and when you're enlightened, you die.
Until you die, as in
It's basically nothing.
you die when you are enlightened. So after your death, after your enlightenment, you will live on until your biological body dies. That is
How do you know when we've reached enlightenment?
that is an experience. Let's say you have not drinking water in your life. You don't know what water feels like. I'm going to take a sip of water and I'm going to explain to you how water feels like. I'm going to say, okay, when I drink water, I feel like cold, or it goes through my throat. There's a feeling in my stomach. I can say so many things. But will you ever understand the experience?
Just drink water.
You will understand it after you drink water. You can have imaginations. Okay, now it will be something like this. I can give you some hints as well, but it will not be the enlightenment, because enlightenment happens on a beyond point of mind. It is something that the mind cannot touch. So yeah, these are things like fairy tales, but it is real. It is something real.
I understand. It just seems like we are humans are prone to self-deception, and we can possibly convince ourselves that we've been enlightened when we haven't.
Yeah. Yes, you're true. When you're going in the park, you will feel like, okay, I am enlightened, but you're not.
Right.
So let's say you are enlightened. Then that means, what does that mean? It means you are not in the middle. You have gone attached to a certain extreme. You're not in the middle. So that is why you think, okay, I might be enlightened. So to help that, what we try to do is, that is why we go to a teacher. That is how a teacher helps. That is why I choose a teacher. So a teacher knows. First, we have to believe the teacher is enlightened. That's first. It always goes with belief. So the teacher knows, okay, he's somewhere, but he's not actually quite where he thinks he is. Then he do the things to like get him onto the opposite side. Then he shows you that he's not. Now, when you're enlightened, you don't have an eye, right? That is basically what it is. So if you don't have an eye, you don't feel anger, you don't feel any of that. So if suddenly someone can do something that makes you angry, if you're humble enough, you will understand, okay, I was in an illusion, thinking I was enlightened. So what the teacher does is do something that makes him angry. That is how teachers, that is why in Zen there are things like, the guru comes with a sword and trying to cut his head off. There are stories like that. Mm-hmm. So why these teachers do these things is to make him understand that he still feels suffer, that he still feels fear in his mind, that he's still afraid of certain things, to show them. That is why some teachers do things like that in Zen.
Okay.
Okay, I'm probably going to say this wrong. But I'm listening to you, and what I'm hearing is something that is you thinking about yourself
Yes.
and only yourself. And how do you get to a certain stage? I don't hear anything that says anything about the community around you, or how that community, whether you would help that community or you, to me, what I'm hearing is, you say I'm no I, but what I'm hearing is All I'm thinking about is I, but in a different form.
Okay. In spirituality, you have to think about I. To get rid of I. So in society, we help others. We try to think about others. That is, now you have to like separate these two things. Our normal social life is how we want to live and help others. That is what we do. Even a monk, most of the monks, like the whole culture depends on helping others. There's that culture. That is why we started this campus. We have like almost 300 students. We are giving them free food, free education, free like accommodation. They have to live here. Lots of things happening. But even though we do good to the society, if you're still angry about things, if you're still burning from within, if you're still suffering from your mind, then there's a problem, right? You're trying to do good and you're trying so many things. But even though if you're attached to these ideas of yours, you helping others, when you see someone not helping others, when you see someone hurting others, you feel angry. Why? Because you're attached to the idea of the people should help others. We help others. Also, we try to understand our mind. Spirituality exists for your own self. You are the one who need to get rid of this idea of I. You can't like get rid of ego thinking about others. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand how your mind works. That is the way you get enlightened. I'm not saying not to help others. Help others, do these things. That is practicing Buddhism. How to live the social life. Yes, that's it. But I was explaining about enlightenment.
How do monks support themselves here? Is it through donations to the temples, or you go out personally and solicit, or it's different places? I know it's the culture. What is the culture?
It's run solely on donations. So our chief monk has been doing sermons like this, discussions like this all over the world. So the people who listen to his sermons, who believe in him, they help with donations. So that is how we run the place. So chief monk is the one who's normally doing this. If he was here, this would be more like interesting. But he's in Colombo, he's quite busy, so that is why I'm doing this today. So
Is that the chief monk is this particular campus? There's no centralized.
yeah, there's a centralized. So the campus is run by our chief monk and the people who are close to him. Like the campus is, we like registered in the government. The campus is another entity, but it is in the monastery.
Okay, and then other monasteries solicit donations for their monastery.
Yes.
And other schools or temples solicit for their
They are,
other
yeah.
temples and their own monasteries.
Yes.
Thank you.
So just to give off that, so each is self-sufficient.
Yes. The most part of it still, yes. Well, maybe there are some temples that is low, like facilities and stuff. Sometimes we go and help them. So that is also there, but mostly it is self-sufficient.
What monks do for recreation? Do they say surfing here? Where do you want to go to the beach with surfing, or ride bicycle, or do you do things for?
We go on trips, like we sometimes go to the beach. We do like play cricket and stuff.
You play cricket. It's a competitive sport. It's yeah, no.
How to do it without?
What's this? Yeah, but you check on it. The object is to win the game.
It's okay as long as you don't get angry.
Balance or
No, it's just like how every cricket game is played. We shout, we do all that. It is just that. That's it. We don't like. Even now I said, when we have rules in this place, sometimes we shout, sometimes we take action, we do all that. But cricket is also something like that. It is a competitive game, we are playing to win. We are not trying to let the other team win. We're doing all this to win. But there's a difference. Difference being we are like mindful about things. It is not artificial, it is automatic. Like we know what is happening. We are aware of things, what is happening. But we are playing to win, that's for sure.
Competition can be very healthy as long as you do it without malice.
So we can also go surfing, but the problem is now the cultures are different. The society sometimes will not approve some things, so there is culture. The things that you do doesn't really matter. What matters is what is in your mind, how you attach or reject things in your mind. There may be people who have lots of things in around him. There may be people who do so many things in the world. That doesn't mean that he is a person with lots of desires. There can be people with none of the materialistic things and do nothing. That doesn't mean that he is a person with no desires. There can be people who has all the things and is doing all the things without any desire about them. There can be people who has none of these things, who's doing nothing, and with great desire about things. It is not the actions that you do that defines whether you are desirous, whether you are attached or not. It is the own way of your thinking. There will be people who uses all the material, there may be people who do all the things, always busy doing that and this, but without any desire towards the things that he do. There are people, not maybe there are people like that.
So, getting out of campus and you call the robust, is that sorry? What do you call it?
Rope game.
Bro. So when you go out to play cricket or surf, to wear traditional,
Yes.
see in the cricket clothes. What
So yeah, we wear a shirt and we have like a thing that we wear underneath. It's like we call it, yeah, we are wearing that. Not like we are not wearing trousers, but yeah, we wear gloves and stuff, yes.
That's a sad wrong road.
There's no much of a significance there. Now
The color is.
the color is,
What's the significance of the color?
so there are a range of colors that we can choose. So from like light red, like this color, there's a range of colors.
Does it signify?
No,
Rank something?
Why the shave head?
the shape red comes with also culture. So also from culture. It is said that in Gautama Buddha's time, when you have long hair, that is something like your dynastic, like or from you're like royal when you have long hair. So he shaved his head to show the society that we are living a different life. We are in search of not pleasures from outside. We are searching for our own spirituality. We are searching enlightenment. So that is why he shaved his head. And not only that, now even before he became a monk, now there were monks before, they also shaved their heads. But the idea is to like show the society that we are on a different path. Culture. Yes.
What message would you want to give to us?
Message is simple. Don't expect the things in your mind to happen on the outside world. You have things in your mind. Do not ever expect things in your mind to happen on the outside. Things will happen the way they're supposed to happen. If you want something to happen in your mind the way you want from the outside, that is just illusions. It is like seeing, when you look up the sky, you can see the blue sky. You can see it very clearly, there's blue. What if someone takes off to touch this blue sky? Can they ever touch that? Can they go someplace and say, okay, this is blue, I have touched the blue surface that I saw when I was in the ground? No. It is an illusion. But down here, if you see up, you will see the blue sky. It is very clear now. Even now I see, okay, there's blue. But you will never find the blue if you go up. The same thing happens in your minds. You have ideas, you have expectations, you have so many ideas in your mind, imaginations. But do not ever expect the things in your mind to happen the exact way you want on the outside. That will be my message. Yes.
It's easy to say this when you're not in Singapore, but what about those people who are in war or something? How can you
In what?
war
I'm war, okay.
and society that is giving you pressure in rent, medical bills, and all that kind? It's harder for these people.
I understand.
Then having you guys are
I understand.
the long respect and you have a place to stay, you don't need to pay the rent, and you have a quiet and
I understand.
but what about those people who are suffering? They don't want that.
Yes,
How would you
I understand. So, if you're suffering, it is always because of how you think. That is why I said, right? I said that if you're suffering from life, it is because on your own way you think, right? So, if you're suffering like from hunger, I cannot provide any answer to cure hunger. They have to find food. If you're suffering from a disease or something, if you're suffering from cancer, my teachings will not help you in order to overcome your cancer. You have to go to a doctor and take medicine. How I can cure cancer is you thinking too much about cancer, then I can cure that. What happens is when you have cancer, even greater than the pain that you feel from your body, you suffer from your mind. How do I feel the society? How do I face the society? I'm afraid to leave the world. So those are things happening in your mind. I can cure that. What you said with people with hunger and all that, the people who really suffers in life. What we do is, what we call this center is called Vipassana Meditation Center. We call this meditation practice Vipassana. That is what the name that we use. The greatest place to do Vipassana is where you're suffering in life. If you're suffering in life, you are searching for relief. A person who's normal living in their lives, they don't really want to have regulated. They don't really want the enlightenment because they're okay all the time. If you have all the things that you want, there's no need of enlightenment, right? If you're suffering in life, if you're really suffering in life, then this message is something like gold to them. So there are people, I have met so many people who's really suffering from their lives, and they have changed the way that they think, and they are now not really suffering. If they have economical issues, they will have to do a job or they will have to do business. So we will also provide in ways to make the economies more great, to find money, to solve their normal problems like paying bills and stuff. But if you're suffering from your mind, that is something that we can cure.
As a parents, you want to have kids that make kids, and you are in this phase of war. It's hard for a mother to just look at it and then set your mind to this and that. You will have no expectation of you. And you see your kid, baby, everyone. It's so hard. You can't control it. Because you have that mother love for your child. It doesn't matter you can control it. Once you see it's, I don't know.
Yes, in those instances, what you can do is the normal things that you do, go to a shelter, change the country, or you have to come to a balanced mind set to understand your thoughts. First, you have to take action to make your surroundings more safer. If you are a person who is in war, after understanding this, that will never shake you. That is something that I can guarantee. If you are a person who has an idea about your mind, you can go into a war, no problem. But if you're a person with normal desires and stuff, it is really hard to understand it at first. That's why I said, now if you're angry about someone, you cannot at that moment go into your heart and say, okay, what happened? You have to take some time to like calm down from that moment and then think about what happened. Yes.
What are your dietary?
So,
You have dietary restrictions here? What do you eat here? What, are you vegetarians or?
no, we are not vegetarians now. We are preparing our own meals. Sometimes people come from the outside to provide meals. So, yeah, in Buddhist scripts it says, now we are not allowed to eat 10 different types of meat, like lion, peacock, snakes, and there are 10 list. I don't remember all 10. There are lions and peacocks in that, I think. Maybe tigers. Yeah, other than that, we all eat other things.
But it's okay to eat chicken, beef.
Yeah. Yes.
So there is something of a hierarchy. You have a chief for the campus. Do you call this a campus? I'm sorry, what do you call it? It's a campus.
Yeah, monastery. Now we use this as a office for the campus here. That is why it is here.
So,
This is a monastery. In this monastery, we have a campus.
thank you. So there is a chief.
Yes.
There are other people, lieutenants for that chief. What's the structure?
So for now, there's the chief, and all the others are his disciples. So the hierarchy happens when I became a monk. I'm like the order happens from the time that they spend in the monkhood, not from their ages. Now, if I became a monk today, the person who became a monk next month is I'm elder than him. So with the time that they spend on the monkhood, that's the hierarchy.
So how will the next chief be selected?
There won't be any chief, I don't know. For now, there's no such idea as such. Because our chief is like 36, 37. Yeah.
But at some point there will be.
Yes, at some point, yes.
Oh, well, when that does happen, who is the next leader of children?
So, the thing is now, in other monasteries I have seen now, the chief selects someone to be the next, in the next one, next successor. Don't know how it's going to happen here.
Above your chief, is there a hierarchy above that? Is there a higher order?
Yeah, yes. In the cultures, like you said, in Sri Lanka, there are like 5, 6 centers that we, like, there are sectors. In those as well, there are higher leaders, and we have like asked them become monks. So there's a big hierarchy with like politics thing going in. Not politics, I don't know the word, but there's, yeah.
So there's a structure.
Yeah, there's a chart.
So if someone one of the monks wants to do something, want to travel, or they want to go surfing, or do something out of what the norm would be, what your daily routine would be, how does one go about doing it?
If you want to do something, you can talk to our chief and say that I want to do this. And according to the person, yeah, sometimes they will say yes, sometimes no. Given another alternative than doing this, it is always about the person who's asking. It is different from the person. Yes.
If you play cricket, do you actually have a cricket team in the monastery?
Yeah, we have like 26 monks. There's like,
And you all play?
yeah, not all, but
Yeah.
most of them play.
Are you good?
Not that good, but yeah. I can play, I can hit the ball, yeah.
Would you enjoy it?
Yes, we do. Now, I enjoy every moment of this moment. I enjoy it. Even the moment where I'm hungry, I enjoy it. You said that we are living like a normal, quiet life. No, we have like 300 people living here. It is like whole disaster here because people doing things are always working this and that. We have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The students have to wake up at 4. The daily routine is so busy. Now, this today is a bit like normal because the kids are on vacation for 10 days. But when they are here, this is like a whole like war zone. Tractors going here and there, lots of construction happening, lots of things going on. It's like a small village, 350, almost 300 people living. So water problems, electricity problems, sometimes street lights going off, there's lectures are going on, the lectures should come. It's a whole big process. We're trying to find peace with this ongoing war. Yes.
So what is your routine?
I try to put water into the fires. That is what I do. I go around asking people how they are, and I try to like teach English to kids. I have some classes here and there to like teach English. But what I mostly do is I go talk and putting out fires. Yes.
How old are the students?
From 19 to 25. We have 2 batches, one to technology and one batch is to music. So we have 150 students who's learning IT, coding and web development and stuff like that. And another batch, another different faculty of music students, like 50 or 60 of them.
What's the ratio of female to male?
In the Monastic students, like in the IT, we have like 80, 90 males, and the others are female, 150. So 90 males and like 60 females.
I'm a little confused. So you have 30 or 26 months
Yes.
and you're teaching about 300 students who are looking to become monks.
No.
They're just students. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
almost like
No.
it's a university.
Yeah, it's a university.
Okay, then it's taught by the monks.
No, we take lecturers from the outside.
Okay.
They're also coming in for like free. They are doing it is like charity.
Okay.
So the kids we provide all the free. So the certificates will be given from the IHS. So it is also owned by, it's like owned by our chief monk and another like teacher who's doing things like this.
Okay, so it's like a private.
Yeah, it's private. Yeah,
It's like a private university.
almost like private. Yes.
Okay.
They don't like become monks. They go to do jobs and they don't.
Thank you.
But they don't pay tuition.
Sorry?
They don't-
They don't pay tuition.
Are they exposed to your teaching?
Yes. That would be the main reason why we started. Because, even though you do great jobs, even though you do all the things in life, if you don't know humanity, if you can't think of others, if you can't do these things to like help others, all that, there's no point in like education and stuff. So this is like a pilot project, and we're going to show this to the UN as well to like make this more like possible in the world. It is not just education, it is education with athletes, thinking about others, thinking about the world. We have started a like organization called Plant Protectors. We try to grow trees, we try to like clean the beaches. That is also going on at the side. We're trying to make them understand it is not just about you, it is about helping others. Yeah, that is all the process. They have to wake up at 4, at 4:30 they have to do yoga. So from 4:30 to 6 they do yoga, then they have help in the kitchens, how to cook, how to clean, how to be hygienic, how to discipline. That is all in the process, not just education. So we had a long discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you as well for coming, and I'm really happy that I get to meet you all today. And when you go back to your country, I have some links with me. If you want to like listen to this even further, you can listen to these recordings. Not like this. Even now, once or twice a month is enough. And even in the background is totally okay. Then like when you're cooking, you can just put it on the background. When you're like driving, you can just have it in the car and listen to it. That's totally okay. But don't try to listen to it every day. Just 1 and 2 in a month, that would be enough. If you go on doing this for like 2, 3, 4 months, you will understand from your own, you will feel that you are not like really attached as you were before. There is something happening automatically. It is not artificial. After like living, this is also enough. The discussion that we had is also enough. When you go back to your country, when you feel problems, like you said, we go back to one, we have to pay bills. If you're pressuring from that, if you're pressured about things, then that means it is not because of pain. Why always people suffer? It's not because of the work that they're doing, it is because of the thinking of the work that they're doing. They're always thinking about things that they have to do and suffering from life. It is not because of things that they are doing. In the morning when you wake up, if you're thinking about today, okay, I have to do this, do that, oh, this headache, go again, eat again, cook again, thinking all this. But without thinking about those things, if you just wake up and brush your teeth, one thing is done. Don't overthink about anything in life, just do the work. There was a person that came to give me 5 minutes, okay? There was a person who came to visit. He was like a security chief in some royal family, Arabia or somewhere. I don't really remember the names of the people. But he had to check 10,000 emails a day. He had not 10,000, I mean 1,000. So 1,000. So he had to check each and every email and write a reply to these emails. So he was really stressed out from his job. So the answer that he got was not to look at 1,000 emails, just to look at one. Look at one email and write a reply, and that is all. Now what happens after you reading 500 emails, you're thinking, okay, I have read another 500 more, and you're thinking, I have just read 499 before. You're suffering because you're thinking about another 500, and you just read 499. Just do one. Write a reply and look at the other one. That's it. That's how you should live your life. Don't think about the things that you did too much. They are already over. Don't think too much. Don't obsess too much about the things what you are going to do in the next life, next moment. Just enjoy the moment. You have air to breathe. You have water to drink. You have people to talk to. Isn't that enough? That is more than enough. And you had a question, no?
Hey, so having free to run, you hinted at it a little bit now. But if you try to say, okay, I'm not going to think about this, I'm going to try to think about this, and then your mind is working more and more. So what do you do with vision?
You just observe. That is how minds are. Sometimes they are obsessed with things, sometimes they are angry with things. Observe it. Don't try to do anything to it. When you observe, it will calm down on itself. It is my experience. Try to do that.
And I have one suggestion.
Okay.
Meditation.
Yeah, meditation helps.
And just kind of to yourself and just close your eyes.
So meditation is, okay, I'm going to take another one.
Well, meditation is not talking about.
Yeah, meditation is when you are trying to concentrate your mind into a certain point and try to relax from that. Maybe it can be your breathing, it can be a sound of the fan, it can be something happening around you. Just focus on that and stay for a long time. You try to get rid of other ideas and you concentrate. So that is another way of meditation.
Do we do meditation?
So,
If we ask a question,
so we just talked now the discussion, the Vipassana meditation that we do. That is what we practice. Stillness meditation, concentration. It is also okay, but it will not now let's say you go back to society and you're feeling pressure. You will have to do this concentration again and again. It won't help you to understand anything. Yes. So, yeah.
So a very brief question. Your students here. Okay. Do they have access to the internet?
Yes.
Television, movies, music?
Yes.
Where's the?
Yes, it is all provided for me.
Is it limited in any way, or is it like as much as they're not?
We have timetables, but the internet access is limited. Like we have packages that we take from providers. It is quite limited, but there are timetables that they can watch movies, and it is all in the timetable. They can play, they can sing. It is all good.
Can we like get an idea about basic meditation, like we calm down and observe themselves, how to, you know,
Reading,
make an exercise
reading exercise.
that we can try on a daily basis?
So breathing exercise is something like this. Where you sit down in a quiet place, where you close your eyes and try to not to think about anything else. You concentrate your mind. Mostly what we do is we concentrate about breathing. It is not to the whole process of like getting in, breathing from here to the whole process. We just concentrate on one point. It can be the tip of your nose. It can be your stomach, how it like, what it happens. Concentrate always about one point. What I do is I concentrate from here, going in, going down. That is what I concentrate. So when you do this, you will calm down. And to like achieve a real bliss from this, you have to do this for a long time, and you have to have commitment to do this every day. Then you will feel a great bliss that you won't feel from anything that you do in your normal life, like going on trips. Those will give you pleasure, but the pleasure that you will achieve from meditation will be far greater than that. But what I suggest is not concentration. What I suggest is understanding, what we call as vipassana. If you do concentration, let's say you are a great like always to practice concentration. I have many people like who's done concentration for like 17, 18 years in their lives. But if they are faced in a situation where they are upset, the upsetness will be there. Then again, he will have to go back to a place, quiet place, and sit down and do meditation. That is there. But if you understand your mind, the concentration will not help you to understand the reason of your upsetness. Concentration will not help you to understand your mind. But vipassana is what is, like I said, understanding the causes of your suffering. That will end all your meditation practices, all of your things that you want to do, because you will lose your eye eventually. So that process will not happen with concentration. There is understanding. To understanding, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're pressured in life, if you're angry about something in life, then think about the cause. Be an observer. Like I said, let it be and observe. That will settle it down on its own.
Can you meditate anywhere, anytime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Vipassana is something we do everywhere, every time. Vipassana, we do Vipassana in every moment. When you're upset, you can just think, okay, why was I upset? Is it because of the outside person, or is it because of my own way of thinking? When you understand this, you don't have to do Vipassana. You don't have to do meditation. The meditation grows within yourself automatically. It is not doing forcefully, it is automatic. So we had a great discussion, and I'm really glad I met you all. And I wish you all in your future endeavors. And there's another thing. It is said that the greatest cinnamon in the world grows in the southern parts of Sri Lanka. We also have cinnamon plantations here. So we made you a cup of tea, cinnamon tea for you to enjoy. So when you go up, you can drink your tea and enjoy. So I'm really glad that I met you all. And I wish you again for your future.